No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. We've got a great show on for you this morning. We're going to try to educate you a little bit more. That's what we try to do each and every week here on the Retirement Report, is bring in some strategies for you that you can utilize in your own retirement. All right, today's show is going to be 7 surefire strategies I'm going to share with you. These are strategies that I use daily in my business with my clients on how to generate more income in retirement. Okay, this is one of the things, you know, when you start reaching around age 50 and above in particular, you start looking at investing and saving a little differently than when we're younger. And one of the reasons for that, of course, is when we're younger and we've got plenty of time ahead of us, we can take more risk, we can let our money grow in the market. Let's say if we're invested in our 401ks, we can have more in stocks. As an example, trying to get more growth and build up that nest egg that eventually is going to provide us that income in retirement. And that's what we're going to be talking about now, is when you do that, start to transition over, you start to see, you know, the retirement's not as far away, and you have to get concerned all of a sudden, well, what happened if the market had a big downturn? You know, what am I going to do then? Or things like today, when we see interest rates as low as they are, in an environment like that, how are you going to generate enough income off of your retirement with interest rates so low? And those are some of the things we're going to address with these surefire strategies to help you, in fact, turbocharge your income. So I've got a few articles that I'm going to share with you on that, on how you can make that transition as well in your savings and in your portfolio. And also how to switch over from growth again to more income thinking, how to get your money working even harder for you, but in a different way. Now it's not about how big can I make that nest egg, but it's how do I draw it down. So how are we going to do that? Well, that's what we're going to get into with these little known strategies. It's going to be a great show. Please stay tuned and keep pen and paper handy. I'm going to give away some things on the show that'll help you with regard to these strategies that you can take advantage of. All right. Now, one of the things here I want to share with you, there is a retirement crisis in America. This is what brings this on. There are 10,000, I said this before on the show, 10,000 people turning 65 every day here in America. So that's a lot of people, right, that's coming into the retirement system. And we've talked about the stresses that can place on some of the services like Social Security and Medicare and the like. And where's the money going to come from to help take care of those things? What might it mean with regard to taxes, as an example? So one of the things that we know, company pensions, for instance, these are a thing of the past, right? In fact, Marilena, we're going to get up on the screen contact information right up front. This morning, what I want you to do is you'll be able to call the office, and we're going to get the number up at 376-5325 and take advantage of, I'm going to offer up a free retirement analysis. So again, when we're talking about 401k plans that are with their hidden fees, when we're talking about how tough it is with interest rates so low, we're living longer, so our retirement savings have to last longer. What are we going to do? Well, I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to help you. So what do? You can call my office, 376-5325, to get a customized retirement analysis where we can ensure how you can get the best out of your retirement. All right, we're going to hit upon that some more, and I've got some other things that we're going to give away as well. All right. What we're going to get into with these, we're going to talk about these 7 surefire strategies. I'm going to cover about Social Security, fixed investments, minimizing risk, minimizing taxes, how to diversify your portfolio correctly, index annuities and annuities in general, how they might play, and then how all of these combined, of course, can make the best plan of all. But first, we're going to go to the phone, and we're going to welcome Bubba to the Retirement Report. Good morning.
Morning.
How can I help this morning, Bubba?
Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Got some money invested in an IRA, and my question is this, if I decided I want to transfer that over to an annuity, is there any penalty on it? I know in an annuity, down the road, if you needed to or wanted to, you can draw out so much a month, and they will take the income tax out on that. And my question question is there a penalty or anything take transferring it from an IRA over to an annuity?
Okay, good question. Can you tell me about where is the IRA invested currently? Is it in a bank account or is it in?
It's in a bank account presently, yeah.
Okay, is it like a CD type of account?
Yeah, I assume it is. I'd have to do some further checking to know actually about it.
All right, because I've had some clients in recently, for instance, that had money in CDs and IRAs and the same thing. They wanted to transfer them into some annuities where they could earn some more money on that, on the little bit of interest they're earning at the bank. Here's the situation they had. I had one that had I think it was a 2-year CD, and because it was a 2-year CD, they had a 6-month interest penalty. All right, so here's how that would work. That means now they were only earning, I think it was a little over 1% on this CD in general. So in their situation, they had it for a little over a year. They were going to have to pay back 6 months, which would have been about about 0.5% of the interest they had earned. So they earned 1% over the first year. The bank was going to charge them 0.5% to take their money out. In that situation, it still worked out in their best interest to go ahead and take the money. They didn't lose any of their principal, but there was that small penalty. Another gentleman had I think it was a 3-month CD, and in that situation, it just taken out, just rolled it, and I think that it was such a minimal amount, I can't remember exactly, but it was such a small percentage, again, it didn't stop him. There are no IRS penalties, though. There are no, the IRS isn't going to penalize you as long as you transfer the money from one IRA to the other. Okay, there are no penalties. So you want to go custodian to custodian. So if it's in the bank, we would just transfer it directly from the bank to the annuity. All right, so no penalties to worry about with the IRS, possibly a penalty with the bank where the CD is. And one other thing, Bubba, when it comes to index annuities or fixed annuities or variable annuities, all of these are very different. There are probably over 1,000 different types of annuities out there, and there's only maybe, I would say, 8 to 10, maybe a dozen that are really worth putting where you're really going to get the most benefit, let's just say. So if you'd like to get a list, you can contact my office, and we can send you out a list of some companies and the annuity, some specific annuities that have what we have found to be the best benefits available. All right.
All righty. I appreciate your help, young man.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. And for folks, if people, one of the things when I have new clients come into my office, sometimes they'll have had a bad experience with annuities, or sometimes they'll know of someone that's had a bad experience with annuities, or it may just be that they've read something in the newspaper or somewhere where where they said annuities were not necessarily a good thing. Most of those articles are going to be related to variable annuities, and the reason is a variable annuity is like investing in the stock market in that sense, that it's very similar to a mutual fund investment. They have in variable annuities what are called sub-accounts. These sub-accounts work like mutual funds. You're going to have a group of stocks or bonds, or maybe even a mixture of stocks and bonds in these sub-accounts. You choose which of those sub-accounts, just as you were choosing mutual funds to create your portfolio within that variable annuity. Now, of course, one of the downsides is you're going to be limited to just those investments in that particular annuity. The other is the annuity itself. There are fees within the mutual funds, just as there are fees, there are fees in the sub-accounts, just as there are fees in mutual funds. So you have that expense. In addition, there are insurance fees added to that on these variable annuities. So you can end up with fees that could range anywhere from 3 to 5% or more per year in that type of investment. And you can imagine then how much performance you would have to get out of those underlying investments to make up just for the cost before you start making money. And even when the market goes down, you still have to pay those fees. So I don't recommend variable annuities, and that's one I would avoid. We'll talk about other annuities and the 7 surefire strategies on how to generate more income in retirement as soon as we return here on the Retirement Report.